This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever felt a sudden tightness in your chest and wondered, is this something serious? Or am I just tired? It's easy to brush off those little warning signs, especially as we get older. We tell ourselves, I've had this feeling before, and it passed, or it's just a little indigestion. But here's the truth: sometimes those seemingly small discomforts can be the quiet warning signals of something far more serious, like a silent heart attack. For many seniors, heart attacks don't always follow the dramatic Hollywood script where someone clutches their chest and falls to the ground. Instead, they can occur with symptoms that are subtle, even sneaky, making it easy to miss the signs until it's too late. The truth is, heart attacks don't always come with the sharp pain or immediate chest pressure we've been conditioned to recognize. And that's why it's so important to understand what those silent signs might look like, especially as we get older. In today's video, I'm going to help you learn how to spot those early signs of a silent heart attack, so you can take action before it's too late. If you or someone you know is over the age of 65, this video is especially important because heart attacks in older adults can present in ways you might not expect. So let's dive in, and please, don't forget to leave a comment below sharing any symptoms or experiences you've had, or questions you might have. We're all in this together. One of the most common but often overlooked symptoms of a silent heart attack is extreme fatigue. Now, we all experience tiredness as we age, right? It's normal to slow down a little, maybe take more naps, or feel worn out after a busy day. But let's take a closer look. If you find that you're feeling unusually fatigued, even after a good night's sleep or a period of rest, it could be a red flag. This isn't your typical tiredness. It's an overwhelming sense of exhaustion that doesn't seem to go away, no matter what you do. I've heard many seniors say, I feel like I just don't have the energy I used to. I'm not sick, but something feels off. This type of fatigue might come with other vague symptoms like shortness of breath or a feeling of heaviness in the chest. It's not always easy to connect these dots, but fatigue, especially when it's new or different, should never be ignored. It could mean that your heart is struggling to pump blood efficiently to the rest of your body, a sign that something might be wrong in your cardiovascular system. Let's look at this through a real-life example. I once had a patient in their late 70s come to me for what they thought was just a routine checkup. They mentioned feeling tired, but chalked it up to aging. Doctor, I can't keep up with the grandkids anymore, and I feel out of breath after climbing just a few stairs. Well, when we took a closer look, it turned out this wasn't just about getting older. It was a sign of a developing heart issue. This patient had what's known as silent ischemia, a condition where the heart isn't getting enough oxygen due to narrowed arteries. But the symptoms aren't as obvious as a full-blown heart attack. With the right intervention, we were able to help them get back on track and manage their heart health. So if you're feeling unusually tired for no clear reason, don't brush it off. That's the first silent sign we'll look for. Next up is something that many of us don't even think about. When we think of a heart attack discomfort in places other than the chest, we typically associate heart attacks with chest pain, but sometimes the discomfort can be felt elsewhere. It's not unusual for someone experiencing a silent heart attack to feel pain or discomfort in the jaw, neck, back, or even the arms. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I don't have chest pain, so why would it be a heart attack? Well, the heart is a complex organ, and when something goes wrong, the pain might radiate to other areas of the body. For seniors, this can be especially tricky because many of us tend to write off neck or back pain as just part of aging. Think about this. Let's say you're watching TV and suddenly feel a dull ache that starts in your jaw and slowly spreads to your back. It's not sharp or unbearable, but it's enough to make you uncomfortable. You might think it's just a muscle cramp or tension, but here's where it gets important. If that discomfort persists or doesn't feel right, you should pay attention. Silent heart attacks can cause referred pain, which is pain that originates in one area like the heart, but is felt in another like the jaw or back. It's a sneaky symptom that many people miss, so don't ignore it if it happens to you. One of the most alarming things I've seen in my career is seniors who experience these strange pains, but don't seek medical attention, thinking they're just getting older. It's easy to dismiss it, but taking action early could save your life. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how do I know if it's really a heart attack or just a backache? Here's a quick way to tell if the pain doesn't go away with movement, stretching, or other typical remedies. It's worth getting checked out. Now that we've covered the first two signs, extreme fatigue and unusual discomfort in areas like the jaw or back, let's move on to the next important sign, dizziness or lightheadedness. If you've ever suddenly felt like you might faint after standing up or felt unusually dizzy without a clear cause, this could also be a silent sign of heart trouble. But we'll dive deeper into that in the next part. For now, take a moment to reflect on these early warning signs: fatigue and discomfort in unusual areas. If you're experiencing any of these, don't wait. Make an appointment with your doctor to discuss what's going on. Early intervention could make all the difference. Now, let's dive deeper into dizziness and lightheadedness next time. And keep that heart of yours safe and strong. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair only to feel like the room was spinning? Or maybe you've been walking through the grocery store and suddenly needed to grab the cart just to stay steady? These moments of dizziness or lightheadedness might seem small, maybe even harmless, but when they start happening more often or for no clear reason, they could be your heart's way of whispering that something isn't quite right. You see, as we age, our bodies naturally go through changes. Blood pressure may drop when we stand. Our circulation might slow a bit. But when that dizzy spell feels more intense or comes with other symptoms like fatigue or shortness of breath, it's time to take notice. For some seniors, this lightheaded feeling is one of the few signs of a silent heart attack. The heart isn't pumping blood effectively, and the brain briefly doesn't get enough oxygen. You might not feel pain, but you feel off. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm here to empower you. These are the moments where paying attention could truly change your life. One of my patients, a 74-year-old man who still did yard work every weekend, came in because he nearly fainted while pruning his roses. He thought it was dehydration, but when we ran some tests, we discovered his heart had recently been through a silent heart attack. No chest pain, no dramatic event, just a dizzy spell that told him something was wrong. Thankfully, he caught it in time. He's still gardening today, and we now have him on a treatment plan that supports his heart without slowing him down. When your body speaks even quietly, it's always for a reason. That little spin, that weak feeling in your knees, that moment of confusion, they all deserve your attention. And speaking of confusion, let's talk about another sign of a silent heart attack that people rarely connect to the heart: brain fog or sudden cognitive changes. This one's especially tricky because it's easy to chalk up to just getting older. But when your mind feels unusually fuzzy, when you're struggling to remember what day it is, or when your words just won't come out the way they should, that can also be tied to your heart's performance. Your brain relies on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood. If your heart isn't pumping properly due to restricted arteries or heart muscle damage, your brain might not be getting what it needs to function clearly. That can lead to confusion, forgetfulness, or a foggy-headed feeling that just won't lift. It may not happen all at once. It might feel like you're just having a bad day. But if these moments are happening more often or feel unlike you, it's worth taking seriously. Think of it this way: your mind and your heart are deeply connected. When one suffers, the other often speaks up. A decline in mental sharpness, particularly when paired with fatigue or dizziness, could be your body's quiet alarm bell. And remember, the older we get, the more important it is to treat these signs with care, not fear, but care. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that might seem completely unrelated to your heart: nausea, indigestion, or a feeling of pressure in your stomach. I know that doesn't sound like a heart issue. It sounds like something you'd take an antacid for. But here's the surprising part: many seniors experience these digestive symptoms when they're actually having a heart attack. Women, in particular, often report nausea or stomach discomfort instead of chest pain. But I've also seen this in men. They think it's something they ate, or maybe a bit of acid reflux acting up. So they lie down, drink some water, and try to sleep it off. but the discomfort keeps coming back, or it doesn't go away at all. That's because when your heart is under stress, it can trigger reactions throughout your entire system, including your digestive tract. You might feel bloated, queasy, or just off in your gut. I had one patient, a woman in her late 60s, who described it as a weird full feeling in her stomach that made her lose her appetite. She had no chest pain, no shortness of breath, just this persistent nausea and fatigue. But she trusted her gut literally and got checked out. It turned out her heart had suffered silent damage, and her stomach was just the messenger. Here's the bottom line. Your body knows what it's doing. It always tries to tell you when something's wrong, even if it's speaking in whispers instead of shouts. That queasy stomach, that spinning head, that fuzzy brain, they're all signs that shouldn't be ignored, especially if you're over 60. I know that as we age, we get used to new normals. We accept a little more tiredness, a little more forgetfulness, a little more discomfort after meals. But not all of these changes are just part of aging. Some of them are signs, signals, warnings that your heart may be in trouble. That's why I want you to be your own advocate. If something doesn't feel right, if you feel off and can't explain why, talk to your doctor. Don't wait for it to go away. Don't assume you're overreacting. You're not. You have the right to feel good, to feel clear, steady, strong, and well. And if your body is telling you otherwise, don't brush it aside. Listen. Now, let's take a deep breath together, because I know this topic can feel heavy, but knowledge is power, and what you've just learned could be the key to protecting your heart, your mind, and your life. In the next part, we'll keep this conversation going and uncover more subtle but critical signs your heart might be in danger. We've already covered fatigue, referred pain, dizziness, mental fog, and even stomach issues. But there's more you need to know. For now, stay aware, stay kind to yourself, and remember you deserve to feel your best every single day. Sometimes the most dangerous symptoms are the ones that don't feel dangerous at all. That's what makes silent heart attacks so hard to spot. There's no dramatic collapse, no sharp chest pain like in the movies. Often, the heart speaks through quiet discomfort, or even just a strange feeling you can't quite put into words. Let's talk about sweating. Not just the kind you get from walking a few extra steps or sitting outside on a warm day. I mean sudden, cold sweats that come out of nowhere. You're sitting still, maybe even relaxing, and all of a sudden you feel clammy or damp. Your skin might feel cooler than normal. Your shirt gets wet at the collar, and there's no clear reason for it. This type of sweating, especially if it comes with fatigue or lightheadedness, can be a red flag. Why? Because your heart may be under stress, and the body is reacting by activating its fight or flight response. It's trying to compensate, trying to cool you down, trying to pump harder to keep things moving. It's your nervous system saying, something's wrong, even if you can't quite tell what. I've had patients who brush this off as menopause, anxiety, or just a hot flash, even years after those symptoms were supposed to be gone. But the truth is, any new or unexplained sweating, particularly if it's cold and sudden, is worth investigating. Especially if you're over 60. Especially if it keeps happening. Especially if it's joined by even the smallest bit of discomfort in your chest, back, jaw, or arms. Speaking of discomfort, another way the body sends quiet signals is through changes in your sleep. Have you been waking up more often at night, short of breath or gasping for air? Are you tossing and turning because you just can't seem to get comfortable when lying down? That might not just be a restless night. It might be your heart trying to work harder when you're at rest. When the heart can't pump efficiently, fluid can begin to back up in your lungs, making it harder to breathe while lying flat. That can cause sleep disturbances, coughing at night, or even a need to sleep upright in a chair. It's subtle at first, just a few nights here and there, but it becomes more frequent. Some people start to avoid lying down altogether without realizing why. They think it's acid reflux or age-related insomnia, but it could be an early sign of heart failure or a past silent heart attack. A woman once told me she started sleeping with 3 pillows propped behind her back, just to avoid that breathless feeling. It took months before she mentioned it to her doctor. She thought it was just part of getting older, but a quick exam and a few tests showed her heart was enlarged and working overtime. Again, no chest pain, No fainting, just poor sleep and a quiet signal. Now, if you're thinking, but I have a lot of these symptoms already, don't panic. Having one or two of these signs doesn't mean you're having a heart attack, but they do mean your heart deserves attention. Your health deserves attention. One of the most important things you can do is listen to your instincts. If you feel like something's changed, even if you can't explain it, don't ignore that. Maybe your walking pace has slowed down without you meaning to. Maybe your daily chores leave you feeling winded, even though they didn't before. Maybe your mood has changed and you feel more anxious or irritable for no clear reason. Yes, mental health changes can be linked to heart health too. When your body is under stress, it affects your emotional well-being. And when your heart isn't getting enough oxygen or blood flow, your body knows even if your mind is still trying to catch up. I always tell my patients, you know yourself best. You live in your body every single day. You know when something feels off. And that off feeling, that's the whisper we've been talking about. So what can you do about it? Start by talking. Open up to your doctor about the subtle symptoms you've noticed. Don't wait for them to ask specific questions. Tell them about your tiredness, your shortness of breath, your sleep problems, or those strange sweats that come and go. Even if they seem small, they matter. Every piece of the puzzle helps. And make sure you're being honest with yourself. Are you staying active in a way that supports your heart? Are you eating foods that nourish your body and reduce inflammation? Are you making space for rest, hydration, and movement each day? These aren't just good habits. They're how we give our heart the strength it needs to keep going. I know aging can sometimes feel like a long list of new aches and adjustments, but not everything should be chalked up to age. Some symptoms are age-related. Yes, but others are warnings we've been conditioned to ignore. So the next time your body whispers, listen. The next time something feels strange or new, don't shrug it off. You matter. Your life, your energy, your peace of mind, they matter. And when you catch the signs early, you don't just prevent a crisis, you protect your future. We're not done yet. There are still a few powerful pieces to this puzzle you should know, especially if you or someone you love is over 60. Keep watching. Stay with me, and let's finish this journey strong together.